Well, welcome to another Data Vault Q&A. I'm Julien Redmond from Ignition, and joining me again is Nols Eberson, our Data Vault expert. Hi, Nols.
Hi, Julien. How are you doing?
Good. Today's question: how do we keep track of changes in relationships when the source system does not describe the relationships?
That's an excellent question. Most relationships that originate from systems that employ, say, third normal form or such mechanisms will hint at your relationship, typically in a foreign key type manner, but it won't actually tell you when that relationship started, ended, is it still relevant, has it changed? And so third normal form is great and it's efficient in its OLTP context, but it doesn't tell us much about the relationship. It does at least record that it exists. So we'll take the win where we can find. Yeah. So how do we identify or track these relationships when they are not properly described? Well, we employ a technique called a driving key. We look at our relationship. Let's say, for instance, our relationship has 3 business keys that participate in it: customer, product, and broker. And the customer always remains consistent within that relationship, but the product and broker can change over time. Now, typically in a well-formed third normal form table, the primary key of that table within that relationship would be a good candidate for a driving key, but it's not always just the primary key. It contains potentially another one of those business keys. So it doesn't have to be a single business key. It could be a couple of business keys within that relationship that gives us something stable to compare over time as we observe the relationships and how it tracks. Now, that derived element that now we're going to say, okay, well, this relationship, based on the data that we received, the first time we saw it means it came into existence at that point in time. If we then see, for instance, for the same customer, Bob, he had a relationship with Sally as a broker, and they had, say, a conservative investment product for their superannuation or pension fund. And then the next day they come back and say, Bob says, sorry, Sally, I want to change my superannuation to an aggressive growth. I'm 25 years. I can ride the ups and downs of the stock market, whatever the case may be. You want to be able to say for the first, say, week in this relationship, the status of it was it started on the Monday, ended on the Friday. The next relationship started on that Friday and moved on. And so now you can correctly report which of these relationships were valid for how long. And that you derive. But you need something to compare to anchor that relationship so that you can then evaluate as the changes happen over time. And don't worry, the techniques that we teach allows you to determine if something or if they started with a conservative investment portfolio, changed to an aggressive, and changed back to conservative, that flip-flop effect, that is easily taken care of, and we go through the class in detail on how to achieve that. But suffice it to say, to describe that relationship in the absence of the source systems doing a proper job, a driving key is a technique that helps us to bridge that gap.
Nice and concise. Thanks, Nols. That was great. Join us again soon for another Q&A, and we'll see you then.
See you soon.